Welcome to English Pathshala, developing e-content for students. Friends, we develop e-content to learn and improve English language. We intend to use all electronic platforms like YouTube, podcast, blog to reach you and provide learning material. Students, we know that Maharashtra State Board has come up with a new textbook of compulsory English for Standard 12. The new textbook is full of interesting stories, poems, writing skill, and novel as genre. In this video, we are going to study a poem, Song of the Open Road, from the textbook of Class 12. Published in 1855, this famous narrative poem is all about life lessons, observations, and joy. The poem speaks about freedom the speaker feels on his journey. It also illustrates how this journey fills his heart with immense pleasure. Though the poem was written in the mid 19th century, it is very much applicable today. The readers would feel motivated and encouraged to enjoy nature, traveling, to be bold and courageous. The poem covers every aspect of human life and offers a solution as well. Afoot and light-hearted, I take to the open road. Healthy, free, the world before me. The long brown path before me, leading wherever I choose. Henceforth, I ask not good fortune. I myself am good fortune. Henceforth, I whimper no more, postpone no more, need nothing. Done with indoor complaints, libraries, querulous criticisms. Strong and content, I travel the open road. The earth that is sufficient, I do not want the constellations any nearer. I know they are very well where they are. I know they suffice for those who belong to them. Still here, I carry my old delicious burdens. I carry them, men and women. I carry them with me wherever I go. I swear it is impossible for me to get rid of them. I'm filled with them, and I'll fill them in return. Students, this wonderful poem is written by Walt Whitman. Walt Whitman was an American poet. He is well known for his style of writing poem. Take the example of this poem. You might have observed that it lacks rhythmic words or rhyming words. It does not even follow conventional rhythm. Well, that's what Whitman experimented with poems. Leaves of Grass is a great contribution by Walt Whitman in the field of literature. O Captain, My Captain is a poem written on the death of Abraham Lincoln, received lots of appreciation. Alright, is it really necessary to know or study about a poet? Well, the answer is yes. To understand a poem well, it is very much necessary to understand a poet. Philosophers and critics define poem as spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings. If it is so, then what triggers those feelings? It is nothing but everything you come across or experience in life. Now, Whitman did see his father struggle. Even his own life was full of ups and downs. Whitman invested years of his hardships to get the acclamation as a poet without losing hope. This hope and renewed vigor becomes the theme of this poem, Song of the Open Road. Song of the Open Road originally has 15 sections, of which first section we have in the textbook to study. Here, open road means nothing but life. Our life is full of surprises, especially the bad surprises pulls us down, demotivates us, but life never stops. It completes the cycle by presenting good after bad. The poem is realization of this. It also trains us to cope with unavoidable challenges of life which is not taught in formal education. Let's unfold the poem line by line. Afoot and light-hearted, I take to the open road. Means the poet is prepared, all set for his journey of life with a positive spirit. Now here, afoot means being planned, happening. The example that you see over here is there are plans afoot to increase taxes. Whereas light-hearted means intended to be fun, rather than too serious. Next line, healthy, free the world before me. Here, poet is looking at life positively. He's not saying what a boring life it is. It is well said, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So life is how you look at it. The long brown path before me leading wherever I choose. It is the poet who is selecting the path of life. This shows sense of freedom. But remember, it also brings in the responsibility. When poet taking decisions, he is also aware of responsibility it carries. In the next stanza, poet says, henceforth I ask not good fortune. I myself am good fortune. The poet says he does not want wealth to be happy because he knows happiness lies within, not in some external objects or piece of paper. Henceforth, I whimper no more. Poet says he will not cry for something good to happen and will not complain about testing times. Postpone no more, need nothing. He doesn't expect something to happen because our expectations are unending, so we remain unhappy. He's not postponing things, thinking that good time will come and lose the time at hand. He's living his present life, done with indoor complaints, libraries, querulous criticism. In this line, we see poet's life reflecting the struggle he did. The poet initially worked as a printer, then he became journalist and teacher. He spent a lot of time in libraries of New York. He wrote several editions of his famous book Leaves of Grass, of which first few editions were not so well received and had to face bitter criticism. Now poet has decided to leave all that behind. In the stanza, good fortune is chance or luck, whereas a whimper means to make low, weak crying noises. And the word querulous means complaining, showing that you are annoyed. Let's go to the next stanza. The earth that is sufficient. So, for the poet, earth, in the sense, common people around him, are enough. To understand this better, we will refer to the next line. I do not want the constellations any nearer. Altogether, the earth that is sufficient, I do not want the constellations any nearer, means he doesn't want to be counted in few well known writers. Here, constellations stand for a group of related people. I know they're very well where they are. Poet has the realization of what he is and is not craving to be like others or wanting to reach someone's place. I know they suffice for those who belong to them. Suffice means enough. So the well known writers are enough for few people, whereas poet himself wants to reach to the masses. So he referred the term in the beginning of the stanza, the earth. Here poet wished to express what common people experience. Well, how do you prefer to travel? With luggage or without luggage? Obviously without luggage, because it gives us sense of freedom and get rid of worries and botherations. But poet says he's still carrying his old delicious burdens. Now I wonder how would burden be delicious? Do you understand something? To understand this, we will go to the next line. I carry them, men and women. I carry them wherever I go. Yes, the burden is nothing but the people that poet is connected with. And in the race of life, he does not want them to be left behind. So he is carrying them. Poet is so connected with them that for him, leaving them behind is impossible. Just think for a moment how many people you have met since your childhood and how many are still in good contact with you. If many is your answer, then you will understand how poet value people around him in his life. The last line says, I am filled with them and I will fill them in return. He means since he has met many people, he is filled with those experiences of life and has sweet memories of those people. Now he wants to return the favor by giving them sweet memories too. Isn't that great? Now, What makes poetry different from any prose? Why it appeals us more? How it communicates more in less words? Well, the answer for these questions is use of poetic devices. There are many poetic devices used in different poems differently to create verbal magic. It enhances the meaning of words. The poetic devices used in this poem are alliteration, symbolism, repetition, paradox, free verse, and metaphor. Just by selecting each device, we will see what they are. So, let's understand what alliteration is. Here, alliteration is the repetition of consonant sounds in the same line in quick succession. Means, in any line that you take from a poem, if they have two consonant alphabets or two consonant sounds being repeated and they are in the beginning of those words, then it is known as or it is called as alliteration. For example, afoot and light-hearted, I take to the open road. Look at those words, take and to. So the first alphabet of the word take is T. Even the word to has the first alphabet T. So both the words begin with the same consonant. Now, in the other example, I know they are very well where they are. So again, in the words like well and where, those words begin with alphabet W or the sound W. So these two are the good examples of the figure of speech alliteration. Let's look at other figure of speech, metaphor. We know metaphor is a figure of speech that compares two different things by saying that one thing is the other. The comparison in a metaphor can be stated explicitly, means clearly. In the poem, poet is comparing way of life with a journey on the open road. Let's go to the other figure of speech, symbolism. Open road stands symbolic to life path or life journey. Hence, it is the best example for symbolism. Let's see what repetition is. Look at the line. Henceforth I whimper no more, postpone no more, need nothing. The words no more have been repeated in quick succession in the same line. This kind of word play is called as a repetition. Now here student must remember the difference between repetition and alliteration. As in repetition, words are repeated in a line, whereas in alliteration, first alphabet of the word is repeated, not the whole word. Now let's understand what paradox is. Read the example. Old delicious burdens. A burden cannot be delicious. However, burden here means sweet memories of people and places. Therefore, it is called delicious. So, these two contradictory words are put together by the poet to achieve this effect. And when you have two contradictory words put together, it is called as paradox. Let's go to the last poetic device, free verse. It's a style of poem. This style is free from limitations of regular meter or rhythm, still provide an artistic expression. This technique, commonly used in modern poetry, is free from artificiality of a typical poet expression. That's it. How did you find the poem? Was this information helpful? Please write in the comment section and stay connected. We'll soon come up with another interesting topic. Till then, have a great time.